You're spending 6 hours designing a product that won't sell and another 4 hours creating descriptions that no one will ever find. And by the time that you actually list your product, your competitor has already beat you to it. Here's the truth. Speed is the #1 thing that can help you get more sales on Etsy. And now with AI, you can have a team of AI agents running for you 24/7, doing market research, creating SEO that actually gets you found, and handling design critiques all while you sleep. With ChatGPT Agents, you can basically automate 80% of the repetitive and mundane work that often comes along with an Etsy shop. And today I'm handing you the exact prompts that I'm using so that they can become your unfair advantage as well. So agent number 1 is our product design analysis agent. You can upload your listing image or another listing image, and this agent is going to become your personal creative director. It can give you feedback on things like font clarity, color palette choices, the overall layout and design, the focal points, and the emotional tone as well. So many new sellers make the same critical mistakes. Things like having the text way too small, using the wrong color palette or color psychology, and they often have busy layouts with no clear focal point. This agent thinks like a buyer and not just a designer. And it does give specific feedback and fixes, not just generic advice. Personally, as a new seller, I would run every design through this just to make sure you're uploading the highest quality listings that have the best chance of actually getting sales, especially if you do not have a design background and have zero experience creating graphic designs. Now, to run these specific prompts, you're going to want to do this in agent mode because it's actually performing real research with the links that we provided. So to do this in ChatGPT, you're just going to click the little plus icon right here and make sure that you select agent mode. Then you're going to want to enter your prompt. And as you can see, this first one is quite a long one. You are asking it to act as a product design analysis agent for Etsy sellers. And then you're going to give it all of this information on how it can give you direct feedback on your particular design or a competitor's design to say if you are learning what actually makes a good design and you're not familiar with the design concepts, then this is a great learning tool. As you can see right here in brackets, this is where you're going to add your link or your product details. And then if you were just uploading an image, then you can just go ahead and upload your image and say that the image is attached here. All of these agent prompts will be available for you in a new free guide that I've put together. If you do want access to that, then just comment the word agent and we will send you a link to get that downloaded. With the length of some of these, there's no way that I can put all of them in the description as it would exceed the max amount, which is why they are formatted in a guide, making it really easy to copy and paste them. So all I want to do is add the link of the product that I want this to give me a design analysis for. So over here in Etsy, I've just typed in something like nurse PNG, and I'm just gonna find something that's actually not doing well. So kind of the opposite of what we usually do on this channel, where we're trying to find bestsellers or popular now. We want to analyze something that is not selling and figure out why. So to do this, I'm just going all the way to the bottom and I'm actually just gonna click on like page 5 because this is something that's not ranked. It's not on the first couple pages of Etsy where most sales are going to happen. And so I'm just gonna find something that's been a little bit stagnant. I don't wanna pick on anything that is too trendy, just because that tends just to be that the design trend has already died out. So I want to look at something that is somewhat newer but has had 0 sales. So this one here is the design that I'm going to choose. They were trying to do like the brushstroke trend and then have the word nurse, and then there's like some floral botanical types of elements in here. So I'm just copying this listing link, which is up here, and then I'm going to go ahead and add it right here, and then just click the little arrow button to start the agent doing its job. So it's asking, or it's looking at things like the font clarity, the color harmony, the emotional emotional tone and the relevance to the niche as well, which I think is really important, because just because something is trending in a design style or aesthetic doesn't mean that it necessarily works for every single niche that's out there. It's going to give me things like 3 elements that do work well and 3 things that should be improved. Okay, so first it gives us just an overall summary of the design itself, and then it gives us the strengths that the design actually has. So it does have coordinated color palettes, it does have a balanced composition, and then it has the clear focal point of the word nurse. So the weaknesses that it points out, which is what I'm most interested in, is the thing like it has busy patterns, there's a contrast issue, and then there's a limited hierarchy. So the recommended fixes are to improve the readability, which would be my #1 thing that I would suggest if I was editing this type of design or auditing this type of design. And that is because the nurse does not have a bold enough outline. So I would just honestly increase that so that the letters pop out a lot more. And then you're going to want to also include some type of outline or border along these other parts of the brushstroke design, if that makes sense, because right now it really is all blending in together and you can't really see that these are supposed to be individual panels or individual brushstrokes like the design trend is actually supposed to be. It also says to simplify the patterns. So personally, I also would choose a different floral pattern that is not so tiny like that, where you're trying to like focus on those. So one like this, just this one right here, would probably be better. And they could be in different colors, all coordinating with each other on the different panels as well. But the hopping from this tiny one to this big one to then this one that really blends in is just a little bit too much. I also would keep it down to probably 4 or 5 colors, no more, and this well exceeds that. So I think that chat also mentions that as well. And that is the, let's see if it does. No, I don't think it actually says to do the colors, but I would probably stick with just 4 to 5 colors on that to keep it a little bit more simple. And then those elements like the florals are gonna stand out that much better. Okay, so this next agent is the bestseller research agent. So this one scans Etsy for products and shows you what's working right now, not what worked 6 months ago. When I use this agent, it allows me to find a trending product, create my own version, and list it super quickly. As I said, speed wins on Etsy, especially with new trending design styles, and so this agent helps you with that. So this one specifically says that your job is to analyze Etsy search results or bestseller data to find products that are currently selling 3 to 5+ units in the last 24 hours. Then you're just going to want to include your Etsy search result link right here. So to do that, we'll start off again with just a trending search or whatever type of category that you actually want to design for or create a product for. So to do that, let's just go into not a graphic design type of a niche, but let's go into like a 2026 digital planner. Let's say you're more on the productivity niche side of things, and we're just typing in 2026 productivity planner. Actually, I changed my mind and just did 2026 digital planner because I don't want to get into the productivity and make it too niche. So let's just see with the digital planner what that gets. So then you're just going to want to grab that link of whatever it is. It'll be something different than what you typed in. We want the actual URL. And then you're going to go ahead and add that in right here. So this is going to ask for things like show us top products with strong recent activity, and then the overall trend direction, the style notes, the pricing range sweet spots, and the key takeaways on what customers are actually buying right now. It also gives you an output format, so it's going to give you the trend overview first, 5 winning product snapshots, and then insights on buyer behavior and what it thinks the product opportunities are for you. So as you can see, it's doing its little investigation here. So it's searching for sales or sold. It already popped up the niche little comment, and now it's actually inspecting the listings and the pricing specifically. Now, I will say that this did work for about 5 minutes. So just put these types of prompts in and then go and create something or make a design or something and come back to it, so that you're not just sitting around waiting for it. It will take a bit of time. So as you can see, here are the 2026 digital planner trends. It gives you a trend overview here. Then it gives you the list of the winning products, which are right here. And then it goes into insights on the buyer behavior, what it thinks your opportunities are. So it's going to be telling you things like target a specific niche, not just 2026 digital planner, which is exactly what I teach. So things for homeschooling parents, or maybe people who have ADHD, or maybe a teacher one. And then it goes on to providing you some information on what could happen with this particular trend. Even though it's 2026 digital planners, this type of product will come around every year. It'll give you some pricing insights and customer behavior as well. As a reminder, if you want all of these prompts and some more that I included in my new agent guide, then just be sure to comment the word agent down in the comment section below. So agent number 3 is the competitor store analysis agent. So this one is really important because if you find a niche and you go out and find really successful shops, you're going to want to look at everything that they could possibly implementing to make sure that you see the same types of results. Many people think it just comes directly down to the design or the number of listings that they have, but oftentimes it's a lot more, such as they're running their own type of traffic from either their email list or social media, or maybe they list on certain days, or maybe it's a pricing structure and a bundle strategy that they have in place. So this prompt is really, really great when you are doing that competitor store analysis. So let's say that you want to continue on and create digital planners and sell things like planner stickers. It looks like this shop has done really well. It's called Let's Plan Planners. They have over 43,000 sales and over 5,000 reviews. So this is a good example of a successful digital planner type of shop. So all you need to do is grab the link from this actual shop, and then we're going to paste it into our prompt over in ChatGPT. Basically, it says that you are a competitor store analysis agent for Etsy and Gumroad. Given a store link, analyze its performance indicators, product positioning, and its differentiation strategy. As you can see, it has the actual shop pulled up here. It's looking into its actual products, its pricing, and its categories, and it's kind of just like moving all around this page. So this one will be really interesting to see with the type of information that it comes up with. Okay, so this one actually took a little bit longer, but it gave us a lot of really good information. So as you can see, it's going to break down all of their specific products on here. They're going to give you the number of reviews, the price points, and then it's going to go into the shop strength patterns. So it has a high perceived value through large bundles and bonuses. So they really are using that bundle strategy, and they are focusing on really rich feature descriptions and SEO optimized titles, which is pretty much a given on Etsy if you want to be successful. They do have an aesthetic consistency. So that goes from everything from the actual product designs to their mock-ups as well, which is also really important to note. So then it goes into some weaknesses or gaps. So this is where you could fill that gap. And so then chat will go ahead and give you a differentiation strategy. So more distinct aesthetics, because they tend to rely on a certain type of aesthetic, and then inclusive themes. So this is really, really great information if you were interested in starting a digital planner shop or any really other type of shop on Etsy. If you find something that has proven demand, like say this particular shop, this is exactly what you want to see. You actually don't want to enter a niche where there isn't any competition or proof that there are a lot of buyers. And so having this type of agent do all of this work in just about 7 minutes to give you that advantage is pretty much all you really need to go out there and be super successful with this particular niche. Okay, so agent number 4 is your SEO and keyword optimization agent. And this is probably the one that most people are going to get the biggest benefit from. And that's because we all hate trying to come up with our SEO and formatting it correctly, writing these long descriptions and making sure that everything is formatted correctly. SEO is super important because especially as new sellers, if you get this wrong, it really doesn't matter how great your design is because you're not going to get found unless of course you are bringing in your own traffic. So for this one, you can either add your listing link or your product details and have it create it for you. So for this one, I'm gonna just add a link and see if it can fix my SEO. Now I will say that with mine, since I tend to not really do that great on my SEO anymore, I am not the perfect example of this just because I've kind of just let it slide because I have so many followers that come in through email or Facebook. I don't necessarily usually rely on SEO, but I am the exception, not the rule, as most people do rely on Etsy 100% for their traffic. So here you're going to add your link, or you can add your product details and have it write it for you. So what this one is going to give us is an SEO summary, 10 new titles and 13 tags, and an improvement breakdown as well. I'm sure mine need lots of work, which is why I wanted to add one of mine, because again, I don't spend a lot of time on this SEO. So for you, most likely as a new seller, you're going to want to have it just write the SEO and title and tags and information for the product description of whatever it is that you're selling in there, rather than have it analyze your older listings to see if it could do any better. Okay, so this one only had to work for about a minute, which is great. So it gives you your current information here, which is all of this, and then it goes into 10 new SEO optimized titles, all under the 140 character Etsy limit. Some of these I completely agree with them, and some of them not so much. So this is where using your best judgment comes in, and also looking at what is actively selling on Etsy and where the searches are comes into play. So again, it does 80% of the work here, and then you'll just have to do some minor rearranging at most, and these would all work. Then it gives you your 13 Etsy tags, which all of these were great, and they would be relevant searches on Etsy. And then it goes into your improvement breakdown. So for me, it was things like the structure, the image names, and the alt text, which I have famously never done before, but it does recommend that you do that, as it says that it can boost visibility. And then my attributes and categories are not correct. So this is because I have so many items in my shop that I can only have so many categories on my Etsy shop, because there is a limit of 20. So mine are definitely not the correct way. But it does give a lot of good recommendations. I think that this one would be the most helpful if you are just writing from scratch rather than going through and analyzing old listings. So this next agent is the customer avatar builder. Now this one is really a game changer if you're running a new store or if you're planning on moving off of Etsy and beyond. Because here's the truth, you cannot sell to everyone. Once you know exactly who you're trying to appeal to, the sales will follow. So most new sellers try to create a product that appeals to everyone and then it sells to no one. So this agent builds a detailed persona based on your best-selling products or another shop's best-selling products if you haven't started your Etsy shop yet. It will show you things like their demographics. So this is things like their age, their income level, their lifestyle, and their pain points. It also reveals their emotional triggers, so like what actually makes them buy, and shows their buying behavior. So this means like impulse versus research driven. And if you are building a long-term brand, then this is basically a non-negotiable. So this is the longest prompt out of all of them. As you can see, it gives it so much information of what type of data that we want our customer avatar to have. And so it's quite detailed. Again, be sure to comment the word agent if you do want this full guide. So for this one, I'm actually just going to put in my own shop link and see if it actually gives me the information for a sublimation crafter, small business owner who is typically my ideal customer. Okay, so this one finally finished, and it is now the customer avatar for Bailey Design Co. It even names it, giving my avatar a name of Creative Kathy. It is pretty much spot on as far as who this particular woman is, what she does with these particular files, and it really goes into detail as far as the demographic, and then her goals and pain points is what is really, really interesting to me, as well as the goals and desires. So this is pretty much spot on as far as tapping into that they are small business owners, and that they actually find the file and make a physical product for it. Most people still don't understand what sublimation is, or that I sell to small business owners and that it's just the digital file and they're actually making a physical product. So the fact that the agent got all of this right is really, really great and really helpful, I think, if you are a new seller looking to entering a niche where you have zero experience or background in. I personally was a small business owner making the physical tumbler, so I had a great deal of understanding and knowledge as far as who this particular customer was, because I was the customer. So if you're coming into this and you aren't, and you have no background, this is going to be perfect for you in understanding exactly what your ideal customer wants to buy and why they do certain things and what their habits are. So that is the ChatGPT agent system. You can have agents running design analysis for you, doing your trend research and analyzing competitor shops, and doing the SEO optimization, all while you're actually doing what matters, which is creating your designs. And so this is how you can go from spending 12 hours a day on all of the mundane research tasks to actually running a shop that scales itself. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.